we have received this statement from Downing Street. It reads, "We can confirm the Prime Minister has received a questionnaire from the Metropolitan Police. He will respond as required." The questionnaire is asking about what went on in Downing Street and Whitehall at the height of the pandemic when strict lockdown rules were in place. And we wait to see how the Prime Minister responds. You will remember that we have learned in the last fortnight that the Metropolitan Police, itself an organisation now in crisis, is investigating 12 different events that took place during different parts of the lockdown during the coronavirus pandemic, in the belief that there might have been breaches of COVID regulations that were brought in by Boris Johnson himself in order to slow the spread of the virus. We learnt from Sue Gray, the senior official initially investigating all of these different events, that there were about 16 different events that were under consideration, 12 of which have ended up being investigated by the police. Just for a sitting Prime Minister to be probed in any way by the police is potentially hugely damaging to him and his prospects for staying in office. It was only earlier today that a former Conservative leader, Ian Duncan Smith, suggested that if the police end up fining Boris Johnson, issuing a fixed penalty notice saying that he breached his own lockdown rules, then it would be hard for him to stay in office. Ian Duncan Smith said in the event of a penalty notice being issued, there would have to be a decision made by my colleagues, but I think it would be very tough for anyone to remain in office after that. He didn't say he would predict the future, but he said it was clearly not helpful if he was fined. It will be difficult. He knows that. Ian Duncan Smith reflects the view of many, many Conservatives that I have spoken to. So even though we are talking tonight against the backdrop of a possible Russian invasion on Ukraine, Boris Johnson talking earlier this evening as part of a conference call with Joe Biden, there are nevertheless very real questions for the Prime Minister about what will happen in this process that could lead to the police issuing a fixed penalty notice, which he could choose to accept or choose to fight. But his party is watching very closely, and in the event that the police find that that he has broken lockdown rules, the calculation around his future changes at once.